Very good morning, students. In the previous lecture, we have seen about uh, friend functions and static members of the class, that is static member variables, static member functions, and constant members of the class, constant variables and constant member functions we have seen. And today's lecture will discuss about constructors. What is meant by constructor, right? And how to declare the constructor. Already we have some few idea about the constructors. In previous examples we used about constructors. So constructor is nothing but it is a special member function, right? So but its name is same as our class name, right? So when constructor is used for initialization of the object, right? And construction can be called automatically when object of that particular class is created here, right? And constructors doesn't have any return types like our member functions. Every member function will have a return type, but constructors doesn't have any return types here, right? So the basic differences between member functions and constructors are constructor name is same as their class name, whereas member functions you can give your user defined name. Constructors doesn't have any return types. The functions will have the return types, right? And constructors can be called automatically when object of that particular class is created, right? But member function, we need to call the member functions, we need to create of that object of that class, and we need to use the dot operator, and we need to call the member functions of the class here, right? So these are the basic differences, right? So basically, we have the three types of constructors. One is default constructors, parameterized constructors, and copy constructors, right? So what is default constructor, what is parameterized constructor, and what is copy constructor? We will see with examples here. Basically, default constructor, it doesn't have any parameters here, right? And when object of the class, particular class is created, automatically which will be called here, right? And parameterized constructors will have some arguments here, right? So it takes some arguments as parameters, right? So when object of the class is created, then we have to pass the values of those parameters here, right? And copy constructor basically we use to copy the content from one object to another object here, right? So every class have at most one default constructor basically, right? And class doesn't, if a class doesn't have any constructor, right? So compiler automatically generates a default constructor. Let us see how to differentiate the constructors here. Basically, there are three factors which we need to consider here: number of parameters, types of parameters, order of parameters here, right? A class can have any number of parameterized constructors, but they should uh, have parameters of type, parameters, orders, that is number of parameters, types of parameters, and order of parameters. You can see in the first example, number of parameters, demo int I comma j here, int j. So first one is it is having one parameter and two parameters. Types of parameters. So it can be different types of one can be integer parameter, another constructor may have some other types of like float, character kinds of parameter. So in C, demo int I, demo float k, there are, it is, even though both are having the only one parameter, but types are different here. Order of parameters, that is also important here, right? So demo int I double d here, and here in first one, int I, it is integer is the first parameter and double is second parameter, and second one double is first parameter, int is second parameter here, right? So in this way we can differentiate the different parameterized constructors. You can see in this example how we can define the default constructor. This is the class, and class name is demo here, and here it is a default constructor here, and because its name is same as the class name. And is it having any return type here? It is not having any return type. So this is one template how to create a default constructor here, right? And this is one example for the parameterized constructor here. Here class is defined. So this is the class here, class defined, and it is a constructor because its name is same as the class name, and even it is not having any return type here, and it is having only one parameter, that is the integer type of parameter here, right? So this is parameterized constructor, and a constructor will not have any return type. So already I told you here, you don't know, every constructor doesn't have any return types, but the constructors can be called automatically when object of that particular class is created here. How you can see in this example class demo, right, and public demo it is what here, this is an constructor, default constructor, and closing class declaration is closed here, main function. Within the main function, the D1 object is created. When object D1 is created, automatically demo constructor is called here, right? So we are here, we are not using any object name and dot operator and function name here. Simply we are creating an object D1, so then automatically default constructor will be called here. That is a basic difference between member functions and constructors. You can also see default constructor. See in this example, same complete program here to demonstrate this one, demo public demo, and here default constructor message we have, and you can see within the main function we have created two objects here. That is a demo D1, you can see here, demo D1 object is created, demo D2 object is created here, right? So when D1 is created, this default will be called, and which will display the message one time here, default constructor. Again, second object is created. When second object is created, again this default constructor will be called. Again, the same message will be displayed here. So here default constructor is called twice because two objects are created here. So similarly, we have the parameterized constructor. We have a class demo, and we have the public member. You can see here int I, right, and demo int p. It is a one parameter here. This is a constructor, and it is having one parameter. To demonstrate parameterized constructor, and it is it is used to initialize the member variable of this class. What is a member variable? I here. So I is equal to p here. So p value we will pass from the calling environment, and simply cout parameterized constructor I value, which will display here, and close the parameterized constructor, then close the class here, right? Class declaration is over, and in which in the main function we have created two objects here, demo D1 object. When D1 object is created, automatically it has to be called the default constructor here, but we don't have any default constructor here. That's what which will generate the error here. So, and demo D1, we are calling a D1 object, and we are passing the parameter because our constructor is having the one parameter here. So there is p value I'm passing D1 of 100 here. So p value becomes 100, and I is equal to p means I value becomes 100. The I value will be displayed as a 100 here, right? So this is how to declare the parameterized constructor and how to use this way, right? So next one is constructor overloading. So I think you know about function overloading. Function overloading is nothing but a multiple functions with the same name with the different signatures. A function, same function with a different signature is called function overloading here, right? Here also same constructor with a different signature. Different signature is nothing but here. So signature says that number of parameters and types of parameter here, right? So then this is called constructor overloading. Here we have the three constructors. One is a default constructor, and two are parameterized constructors. And one you can see here, this is the parameterized constructor with one parameter, that is p here, and this is also parameterized constructor with the two parameters here, right? So these are three same constructor, but signature is different here, but signatures are different. So this concept is known as constructor overloading here, right? So but here only it is default constructor, parameterized constructor with one parameter, parameterized constructor with two parameters here, right? So which will display default constructor message, parameterized constructor, and display the p value, and parameterized constructor display the p and c values here, right? So how we can call these different constructors? And one more constructor is also there. Here the order of parameters are different. The parameters may be same, character C and double D here. And previously double is first parameter, so character is second parameter here. But here C is first parameter and double is second parameter here, right? So, and closing of the class. So the declaration of constructors are over here. Now, how to call those constructors here? See, we have created object D1. When object D1 is created, which will call the default constructor, right? And which will display the message default constructor here. Next, we are creating object D2. When object D2 is created, we are passing only one value, that is integer type here, right? So then, which will call the parameterized constructor with single parameter here. So that int p we have seen here, right? Similarly, we are creating third object D3. When D3 object is created, which will call the one more constructor, right, in which the first parameter is integer, second parameter is character here, right? And D4 object, when D4 object is created, so which will call the constructor this one here. Here the first parameter is what? Character. That is, we are passing the first value as C, and second parameter is double D here. Here second value is second argument value is 20 comma 2 to here. So this is double D here. So in this way the parameterized constructors can be called. So now we have seen default constructor and parameterized constructor. And one more types of constructor is what is that constructor? Copy constructor. So what is the use of the copy constructor? Basically, we use this copy constructor to copy the content from one object to another object here. That means we can create two objects here. The content of one object can be copied into the another object, right? So otherwise, you can say the one object can be initialized with the object of other object here, right? With the data of other object. So you can see in this here, into demo, this is the class demo here, public member I demo, it is single parameter, parameterized constructor with single parameter here, which is used for initialization of member I is equal to P here and close here. And this is the copy constructor, right? Definition, demo, and here in the first one, it is a parameterized constructor, but its parameter type is integer. But here the parameter type is object itself here, right? Demo object reference, right? So in which we are using, again we are initializing with I here, I is equal to ob dot I here. So which refers to the current object by which this constructor is called here, and std colon cout dot I value will be printed here, right? And close here. So how this constructor will work, let us see in the next slide. See, you can see here in integer, you can see here integer demo is created, demo D1 object is created. Here the what is the value here? Integer value. So integer value means which will call the one parameterized constructor whose parameter is integer here, right? And here D1 is having the data member, that is I is initialized with 10 here. And this is a copy constructor demo D2 of D1. So that means the content of D1 we are passing as a parameter here. So D1 object we are passing as a parameter here. So when D1 is passed as a parameter, so the content of D1 is copied into the D2. So this means we can directly write D2 is equal to D1. Okay, we can also write it as a demo D2 is equal to D1. So when we write the D2 equal to D1, the content of D1 is copied into the D2 here, and which will display D1 dot I equal to some value. What is the D1 dot I value? That is object 2. D1 is object 1, its value is 10, and object 2. D2 dot I is nothing but it is object 2 value. So both values are same because the object 1 member value is 10. So the same value is copied into the D2 object here. So for that purpose, we have to use the copy constructors. So this is about constructors, various types of constructors here, right? So next one is destructor. What is a destructor? So which is same as it is a special member function of a class that is executed whenever an object of its class goes out of scope, or whenever whenever the delete expression is applied to a pointer to the object of the particular class here, right? So that means the destructor can be called automatically when scope of object goes out of the when object goes out of scope here, right? Or else we can use some delete operator, right? So that is dynamic memory allocation, deallocation operators are there in C. So those are like new and delete operator. So we can also use a delete expression which is applied to a pointer to the object of that particular class. So then automatically the memory allocated by that object will be deallocated here. So basically we use this destructor so to deallocate the memory, right, or to release the resources which is occupied by object here. That means when a object is created which occupies some memory space here, right? So if you want to release that memory space, then we have to use the destructor here, right? So destructor we no need to explicitly call here, right? It can be very useful for releasing the resources or coming out before coming out of the program, like closing the files, right, memory, and they should be declared in the public section of the class here, right? And how do you identify the destructor? To identify the destructor, we have the operator, that is a tilde operator we have to use here, right? So it, and one more thing, it is also doesn't return any kind of values here, right? So that is a basic differences between constructor and destructor. So constructor allocates the memory, that is a constructor is used for initialization of the object. That is when object is created, some memory will be allocated here, right? Some resources are occupied by that object. In order to release those resources here, when no longer needed, then we have to use the destructors here, right? So these destructors releasing resources before coming out of the program here, right? So you can see destructor function is called automatically when this situation occurs here, when a function ends here, right? Automatically the destructor will be called. When program ends, destructor will be called. So function end means the when the execution of a function is completed, then there is no use of memory which is allocated by that function during its execution here. So that's what automatically destructor will be called, and whatever resources are allocated during the execution of that program function which is released here. Same can be applied for the program also, right? When program is being executed, some resources are, that is some memory will be allocated by the objects here, right? When the program execution is over, then those resources needs to be released here. So in order to release those, or in order to deallocate those, the destructor has to be called here. Destructor function has to be called. So when the program execution ends, automatically the destructor will be called here. Similarly, a block, which can also be applied to a block containing local variables ends. And delete operator also we can use here. Suppose if you want to explicitly deallocate the memory which is allocated by an object here, then we can also use a delete operator here. There can only be destructor in a class with class name preceded by tilde operator here. No parentheses, nothing is required. So you can see one example program which demonstrates the destructor here. So class demo and public demo here. So destructors, this program demonstrates how to use the destructor here. So here it is a constructor, default constructor, so which will display the message constructor is called here, and it is a member function. You can observe the difference between constructor and destructor member function also. Here it is not having any return type, but this member function is having the return type, and display function, it is having one parameter here. So which will method is called and which will display some p value here. And this is what destructor here, right? So this destructor is preceded by a tilde operator, you can see here. So for constructor or for member function, there are no tilde operator. For destructor, it is having the tilde operator, and destructor is called, right? These kinds of messages you will get here. You can see. So main function, demo object one, right? Object one is created, and when object one is created, default constructor will be called, and which will display the message. Constructor is called, message will be displayed here, and simple variable int x is declared, which is initialized with 1 here, and object one dot display, it is a calling of the member function, that is a display member function is called here. So object dot display member function, we are passing the values triple to here, and if x, because its value is 1 here, so this is true here. When true, then object 2 is created here, right? When object 2 is created, which is within a block here, right? So then here, which will display the value 2 constructor, and here when object 2 is created, right, again default constructor will be called here with object 2, and when execution of this block is over, the destructor will be called here, right? So this is destructor will be called. So after execution of this block is completed, right, one time destructor will be called. When the program execution completes, again before execution of this main function also, the destructor will be called here. So twice the destructor is called here, because we have the two blocks. One is the main function and another one is the block here, right? So whatever resources are allocated by this function, right, either main function or any display function, any object here, so those are released by calling these destructors here, right? This is about uses of the destructors. So how to demonstrate dynamic memory allocation, deallocation of objects here. So this is constructor, again constructor with single parameter, constructor with two parameters here, same program, right? Constructor overloading program is repeated here. Here is destructor, right? So destructor we are using here, in which we are creating the objects of the pointer objects, right? Demo D1 object pointer. So right, so which will call default constructor, and this is a D2 is another object pointer, right? So with one parameter, that is single parameterizer constructor, and D3 is another object pointer. So this is here we are passing two parameters, which will call the constructor, which is having two parameters, and here is D4 object pointer, so which is calling again one more constructor, in which the first parameter is character, second parameter is what? Double here. So all these four constructors are called here, right? So that means memory is allocated for these four objects here, right? So if you want to release, because we don't have any blocks here, so by using delete operator, we can here by using delete operator, we can deallocate all the memory which is allocated by D1, D2, D3 and D4 here, because here we are using the new operator. All these new operators allocates the memory for these objects here, right? And these are pointers to those allocated memory here. So we can deallocate the memory which is allocated by D1 here. So for that we are using the delete operator. Delete D1, delete D2, delete D3, delete D4 here. So which will deallocate the memory which is allocated by the new operator. So this program demonstrates how the memory is allocated dynamically and deallocated here, right? So next concept is abstraction, right? So we'll see this data abstraction concept in the next class. Thank you.